Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of this MyNBA 2K22 expansion series here with the Kansas City Scouts. And it's time for our next off-season. Before we jump in to the player retirements and all that stuff, real quick, look at our team stats and player stats this year. I have already recorded all of our rankings for the team stats, so I'll just get those out of the way. We went 28 and 54 on the year, which gives us the 30th out of 32 position in the entire league. So we were bottom three, pretty much tied for second to worst. We had about 104 points per game, which is good for last place. No shocker there. For points allowed per game, we rank 18th with 112.6. For point differential, we're at negative 8.7, which is good for 30th. Field goal percentage at 44% was good for 30th. 3-point percentage, that was at 34.7%. That was good for 24th in the entire league. Free throw percentage was at 76%, so that's good for 25th. Rebounds per game, we were 18th with just below 50. For assists per game, we were at about 27. That was good for 19th. For steals per game, we were at 8.2, which is good for 16th. So smack dab in the middle there in the entire league. Blocks per game at 5.8. That's good for 19th. And for turnovers per game, we were at 14.8, which was good for 23rd. So we don't really take care of the ball that well. We don't score. Our defense is not that bad. Our assist numbers and rebounds are not terrible. It's just our scoring and our shooting is really poor, which if you've watched all the episodes leading up to this one, that is very evident to you. So that being said, let's go check out our player stats for the year and then head into the actual off-season stuff. Alright, so Mikal Bridges leads our team with just below 18 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 1 assist. Jalen Brunson, 15 points per game, below 4 rebounds, got 4 assists. Olenek, who we traded for like last episode or 2 episodes ago, very recently, 12 points per game for us. Nurkic averaged a double-double with 12 and 10. Oubre, before he got hurt, 10 points per game. Wade Webb, 9 points per game. Didn't shoot the ball that well. Justice Winslow, 8 points per game. Marshall Gilbert, 8 points per game. Quentin Beasley, who we saw, I think, just a couple of times, 7 points per game. Palmer, in his rookie season, just below 6 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and 7.6 assists. So, and he shot probably one of the worst shooters on the entire team. He shot 35%. So we still have some work to do there. Okay, now we're here in the actual offseason. Here are the player retirements for this season. Udonis Haslem, Sweet Lou, Rudy Gay, Rondo, Horford, George Hill, JaVale McGee, Dragic, Danny Green. Jeff Teague retires after being on our team for a couple months. And everybody else not that well known. It's time for the draft lottery, guys. We are tied for the 4th best chance to get the first overall pick. The Raptors had the best chance. So we'll see what happens here. The Thunder, of course, have 3 lottery picks here. The Knicks have 2 of them. The Magic have 2 of them. And let's get this show on the road and see what happens. The Magic do not get pick 11. They jump into the top 4 so that the Timberwolves fall, and that's not good for us. And then it happens again. The Suns don't get pick 10. It's the Thunder, so the Suns also move into the top 4. This could be pretty bad for us, guys. Okay, 7 picks left. This is where things get kind of dicey here. The Rockets should have picked 7. And it's us. Are you serious? We go from 4 to 7. Oh, man. That hurts. Magic at pick 6. Trailblazers don't get pick 5. It's the Raptors who had the best chance to get the first overall pick. Pick 4 is the Magic. The Trailblazers move up again. Pick 3 goes to the Rockets. Last 2 teams are the Trailblazers and the Suns. Pick 2 goes to the Suns, so the Trailblazers have the first overall pick to get a star to put alongside Dame and McCollum. Wow, we have pick 7. That hurts. We might have to make a move. We might have to move up. We have some things to figure out here, folks. Before we do that, though, I gotta sign a couple of staff members here. Not sure how much budget I'll have to be able to sign more than just one person. Probably can only get the assistant GM, so I'll come back when I've done that. Okay, so I signed Patrick Gordon to a 4-year deal as our assistant GM. He's got a couple of badges right here. Let's see. The badges. He's got Sleuth. He can report back on prospects with low potential. Sniffs on medical issues, and he could be a pretty good scout. He's our assistant GM, so he won't be doing much of that stuff. But I did hire a new scout as well, Edgar Harvey, who has got really good analytics and decent basketball IQ as well. So he should be pretty solid. His badges are Bloodhound, very adept at identifying sleepers. That's really good for us. And he's got a lot of knowledge and effectiveness when doing domestic scouting. So those are 2 hires I made here. Can't hire anybody else. Don't have enough money to. So we're done with staff. So before the draft, here are a couple of mock drafts. The final mock drafts before the draft takes place. Draft Express has Walt Payton going first overall to the Trailblazers, with Chris Gilmore going second, and then Tracy Cardinal. In 2K, the 2K Sports mock draft has Chris Gilmore going first overall, followed by Quincy Cage and then Ethan Newton. So a lot of change here. And the NBA.com mock draft has Cardinal going first overall, Gilmore going second, and Newton going third. So a lot of different looks here. Nobody knows who's going to go first overall. It's very up in the air now that Chris Gilmore's stock has fallen a little bit. God, I wish I had like pick 3 or pick 2. I don't know if it's going to be easy for us to move up, but Draft Express has us taking Matt Reeves, a shooting guard out of Kansas State, so another guy from our state. 2K has us taking Matt Reeves as well. NBA.com has us taking Matt Reeves as well. So apparently Matt Reeves should be our pick. We'll have to look more at him real quick. Supposed to go top 10 for sure. He's apparently like a 73 overall. He's 19 years old. Comparison to Seth Curry, or that's his ceiling, is Seth Curry. I don't know if I like that, to be honest. I want a guy with high potential. He did not even shoot that well from the field in college, about 38%, just below 20 points per game. I don't think that he's the right guy for us. He only played in 3 games. That's it. What? Apparently he's a good mid-range shooter, good 3-point shooter, not good on defense, good athlete, but not a lot of potential there. So probably not going to take him. Okay, so right now I'm going to go try and see what it would take to move up to pick 3. Because I think with pick 3, I would have a couple players that I would really want to take that would be there. So I would be cool with Walt Payton, Tracy Cardinal, and there was one other player that I'm forgetting. But I think that Walt Payton or Cardinal will be there with pick 3. So I'm going to try to get pick 3. If I can't, then I'll figure something else out, or maybe not. Maybe I just have to roll with pick 7. So here's how it looks. We can only do a trade with these 5 players. We can only trade Mikal Bridges, Yusuf Nurkic, Jalen Brunson, Marshall Gilbert, or Mitchell Palmer. But I'm not going to trade Palmer, obviously. Marshall Gilbert could definitely be a guy that I see trading us or being traded by us, but he's also not a high overall at all, so he's probably not even worth that much. Jalen Brunson, I think, is... Actually, I think that Mikal Bridges might be the top choice to be traded, only because I think that he hasn't really shown that much. I think Jalen Brunson has shown more than Bridges has, and I think he's the better overall player, even despite his overall being lower. So I'll figure this out, and I'll come back when I have a decision to make. Okay, so using Trade Finder, they will only offer us this pick, apparently, by either giving them Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson for pick 3 and Daniel Tice, or giving them Yusuf Nurkic and Mikal Bridges for the pick and Tice. So I don't know if I don't really want to give 2 players of that caliber away. I do understand the reasoning for it, though. I'll try to work a different deal out, possibly. Okay, so I was unable to get a deal done because I can't trade up because I can't trade our first round pick in back-to-back years, because we have given away our pick for the 2024 season as of right now. I'm pretty sure it's got a protection on that, but I could be wrong. But we don't have a pick in the first round next year, so I can't trade a pick from the draft this year. So I can't make the trade, or it's that the Rockets don't have a pick next year or the previous year. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't trade up with our 7th overall pick, and I was not willing to give up 2 of our current core players. So we're just going to have to roll with it and see what happens, guys. Pick 7, NBA draft. Here we go. Let's see what shakes out. The first overall pick, the Trailblazers select Walt Payton, the center, 7-foot center out of Xavier. With pick number 2, the Phoenix Suns take Deion Sims, a point guard out of NC State. Wow, that is a huge difference than what I thought was going to happen. So there's the Chris Paul replacement. The Rockets pick 3, take Tracy Cardinal. No. Center, 7-foot center out of Southern Methodist, SMU. All right. God, that hurts. Chris Gilmore, does he go here to the Magic? The answer is yes. Chris Gilmore drops to 4th overall after being the unanimous first overall pick at the beginning of the season. So pick 5, the Raptors take Deion George, a center out of Indiana. So a lot of big men going here in the top 5. Pick 6, the Magic back on the clock take Walt Ward. So they pair small forward Walt Ward with shooting guard Chris Gilmore. They're 2 rookies. And now we are on the clock, folks, and I have no idea what to do here. Okay, so we have a couple of offers here. Now, right now, I'm not going to accept these offers right now because I have not looked at the available prospects. So I'm going to take a deep look through those first before I accept an offer if I want to. But right here, we have an offer from the Suns. They're getting us their first next year and the year after that, and because they were bad this year, I would take this deal if I didn't have a prospect that I really wanted to take. So there's this trade offer, which we can take at any point. There's also the trade offer from the Thunder, who are still trying to figure things out. They're offering us both of their first round picks for next season. We don't have a pick next year right now, so if we make the trade, we would have 2. We just wouldn't have a rookie this year, which I really want a rookie this year. Because it's important to us to get the ball rolling on the future of the team. But this offer is a pretty good one. Okay, so one of the options here that we have is Ethan Newton, who was dropped to pick 7. Now, I'm kind of in the same boat as I was with Chris Gilmore. This guy could be an immediate starter. If I choose to do that, he could be an immediate contributor. But his ceiling, he's pretty much already there. His ceiling is Eddie Johnson. His floor is Jose Calderon. So they're both starters, and those are his ceiling and his floor. So he's got 9 badges, but probably won't get too much after this. He won't improve. He is a very tight comparison to Jalen Brunson. It is pretty much a carbon copy of him, actually. But he's already reached his potential. He's already pretty much at his ceiling. So I don't know. I'm probably not gonna take him. Another player that I've been looking at very heavily that I think is my favorite pick right now is this guy Quincy Cage. Now he is another playmaking point guard, just like Palmer is, and another Chris Paul comparison. But he has the potential to be the next big superstar. He's good at holding onto the ball when he's attacking, finds his own shot. He's 6'4", so he's much taller than Palmer is at point guard. He's a natural playmaker, makes teammates better. He does have some weaknesses on defense. Not the best finisher. Can get blocked pretty easily, and he's not a good three-point shooter. So pretty much same thing as Palmer. So we have a tough choice here if we want to do this. But his potential is A+, which that is massive. And the aggregates also say that he is an A potential. So he's got 7 badges. I think he's the best option right now. I'm going with best available because right now we're not a team that if we improve in one area, it's not going to make our team a whole lot better. So I think he's the best option right now, but I'll look at some other options as well. Most of these guys that I'm looking at, like Connor Harper, for example, he does not excel at pretty much anything. He has no badges. I'm not going to take him. I think Quincy Cage right now is the best option. Ethan Newton is just too... He's already in his peak. It's not worth it. Sammy Goodrich, similar situation. A lot of these guys just... There's not a lot of guys right now with high potential. They were all taken early on. So I think that I do want to take Quincy Cage. So I'm gonna do this. This might be kind of a weird pick here. Might be kind of a weird choice, but I'm going to do it. He is not a good shooter, not even a good defender. He's a good playmaker though, with a very high potential, and he's apparently a 74 overall. But we also thought that Palmer was too. So I don't know if he's gonna actually be a 74 overall or not. But I'm gonna take him either way, and I will figure out what to do with him and Palmer because they're both pretty much the exact same kind of player. We'll figure it out. Here we go. Quincy Cage, your new member of the Scouts. With pick 8, there's going to be a trade here. The Warriors trade pick 8 for Duncan Robinson and Norm Powell from the Clippers. So the Clippers with pick 8, they take Ethan Newton. Yep, not that shocking right there. He was a coveted guy. Pick 9 is Connor Harper. And after pick 10, we're going to sim the rest of the draft because we don't have a second round pick, and we're going to look at the draft summary. So pick 10 is going to be traded. The Thunder trade pick 10, or pick 10, or the Pistons actually trade pick 10, and a first round pick in 2 years for Paul George. Wow, what a huge trade. And the Clippers take Matt Reeves out of Kansas State. All right, I'm going to pause here. Going to sim to the end of the draft because we don't have another pick. And we're going to look at the draft summary. Okay, so here's the draft summary, guys. First overall pick, Walt Payton. 4 badges, 20 years old, 75 overall, glass cleaning lockdown. He is a good defender, rebounder, and has an A- potential. Pretty solid. Deion Sims, 2nd overall by the Suns. 74 overall, 21 years old, no badges. Offensive-minded points. Good all-around scorer and playmaker. Not a good defender, good athlete. His potential, he's pretty close to reaching it. Pick 3 was Tracy Cardinal, who I really wanted. A 78 overall, glass cleaning lockdown, 21 years old, 4 badges. Can't really score too well, but he's a great defender, great rebounder, decent athlete, but he's already reached his potential pretty much. I'm glad I did not take him. Chris Gilmore, 4th overall to the Magic. 80 overall, 18 years old, 11 badges, 3-and-D off guard. Really good 3-point shooter, can score inside, good playmaker, good defender, good athlete, high IQ. His potential is B+, so better than I thought it was going to be. So that's where he goes. He's 6'8", by the way, so he's pretty tall. He's pretty young too. And then Deion George, 5th overall, 75 overall player, 19 years old, 2 badges, paint defender. Can't score. He's a great post defender, good rebounder. Potential is at B though, so he's a little bit of ways until he's there, but not the potential that you really want from a top 5 pick. Then the pick before us, the Magic again, they took Walt Ward, 74 overall, 21 years old, 3-point shooter, no badges. He's not even that good of a 3-point shooter, to be honest. He does not excel at any one thing. His potential is not where it should be. And then here's our pick. Quincy Cage, 7 badges, playmaker, 72 overall, 20 years old, 6'4", point guard out of China. And what is his stuff looking like? Again, I'm gonna try to train him to be a good inside scorer. He's a good playmaker, just like Palmer is, and not a good defender. Good athlete though. Decent IQ. Potential is A. Yes, let's go. So very similar to Palmer. So that's pretty good for us. He's got 7 badges. People are excited, apparently. This guy, someone who win 29, is excited about us. He's got a couple of badges here. 1 for finishing grace under pressure. He's got 5 playmaking badges: needle threader, post playmaker, quick first step, stop and go, and triple threat juke. Defense, he's a rebound chaser, just like Palmer was. So we got 2 rebounding point guards somehow, but he is just a taller, more polished version in his first season compared to Palmer. So we'll see how that works out. Here are the rest of those picks. Ethan Newton, 77 overall, 9 badges, deep range shot creator. I care about his potential. His potential is B-, so he's pretty much already there. You got Connor Harper, Matt Reeves, Cartwright, Jefferson. I mean, did I miss again? We chose one of the lowest overall players in the first round. So I don't know if I'm positive right now, but I am happy that he has a high potential. Here are your second round picks. And there you go. The draft is over, guys. Okay, so team player options. I'm not going to pick up Olenek's option or Vildoza's. Wade Webb. Man, I don't know. I think I'll take it just to see, because it's a 1-year option for very cheap, so we can see how he's improved. But his potential is B+, so we'll see. He's a really good 3-point shooter, so we'll see what happens. I am not going to extend an offer here to Quentin Beasley, 29 years old. It's not worth it for us to do that. We'll let him walk. Okay, so here before moratorium, we have a pretty guard-heavy team. We have 7 people on roster right now. We got Mikal Bridges, Yusuf Nurkic, Jalen Brunson, Marshall Gilbert, Mitchell Palmer, Quincy Cage, and Wade Webb. We got 4 guards, 2 forwards, and 1 center, so we have a lot of work to do in signing players, especially for the paint. So we're going to focus on that because most of our guards, aside from Brunson, are very young players that have a long way to go. So we'll figure this out, guys. So moratorium, we got players like LeBron James, who I'm not going to make an offer for him. It would be great to have him on the team, but there's no way that he would accept an offer to play for an expansion team in his last couple years. We'll let him go to wherever team he wants to go to. Same thing for Jokic and Zion. Not really comfortable giving offers to these big guys. Just yet, maybe in a couple of years it'll be fine. But we got LeBron, Jokic, Zion, who is restricted. John Morant also restricted. But you got Chris Middleton, maybe potentially a player that we go after. Darius Garland, Jaren Jackson, Vucevic, RJ Barrett, Russell Westbrook, Kristaps, Tyler Herro, who burned us in that one game a couple episodes back, and a lot of other guys like this. So we'll figure things out, and I'll come back when I have made a couple of signings or when I've given a couple of offers out. Okay, so first things first here, I'm going to give an offer here to Jaren Jackson Jr. He can do pretty much everything. Can score at all three levels. Is a good paint defender and a good defender on the wing. Good rebounder. He's very physical, and he's got a good potential. He's only 23 years old, and he's also unrestricted, so he's an 86 overall. I'm going to toss him an offer right now and see what happens. It's going to be a pretty big contract if he takes it. I'll give him a player option to increase his interest here. I'll offer this right now. I'm also going to give an offer here to Miles Bridges, who is on the market, unrestricted. He wants about $19 million per year. He can really score inside and shoot the three. Not a bad defender. Really good physically. Can rebound and can make plays. He's 25 years old. I think he's a pretty good guy to give a contract offer to. I'll lower it slightly because he has no other offers right now, or he has maybe one other offer, but I'll offer him a little bit less than he wants, and then I'll give him this deal. And then finally for centers, I want to give an offer here to a guy that can really back up Nurkic, or maybe just start ahead of him, not sure. I can't give another big offer out here, so I'm probably going to go for a guy, maybe we can bring in Claxton this time. He can't really score inside though, so maybe not. Maybe a guy like Miles Turner. He's 27 years old, but he can do a lot of good things, and he's a really good defender. Wants about 12 mil per year. I'll shoot him one. Why not? Lowers offer by a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so Jaren Jackson wants to accept his deal. We are going to obviously renounce the rights to all of the players that we don't have on the team anymore. But we have a choice here. We can either bring in Miles Bridges as well, who would maybe come off the bench. I'm not entirely sure how I would want to do the lineup here. Or we could decline Bridges and bring in Miles Turner for a little bit cheaper, save some cap room at center. They're both about 17 badges, about 80 overall. It just is about the depth at each position. I mean, Miles Turner can score all around, and he's a really good post defender. But I think I would rather take Bridges because he can really score, and offense was the biggest problem for our team. So I think I'll take Bridges, sacrifice like $7 million cap, and that's fine. We get him and Jaren Jackson. So I think I want to do that. That sounds like a good idea to me. Okay, well, so I may have not known what our cap's stitch was. I could only sign Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't know why the moratorium thing doesn't tell me what I can and can't do sometimes. So I was unable to actually bring in both Jackson and Bridges. So we only got Jackson. So we only have 8 players on the roster still. We still would not have been able to bring in Miles Turner, so that doesn't really matter that much. We have $6 million free in cap room. So I don't really know where to go from here. I'll figure it out. But for signed players and a moratorium, LeBron returns to the Lakers on a 1-year deal. Zion obviously has his offer sheet matched by the Pelicans. John Morant, of course, returns to Memphis. Chris Middleton returns to Milwaukee. Darius Garland back to the Cavs. We got Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously. RJ Barrett returns to the Knicks. Russell Westbrook returns to the Lakers. Porzingis returns to the Mavs. Harrell back to the Heat. Brogdon back to the Pacers. Jeremy Grant back to Detroit. Not a lot of changes here, to be honest. So we still have some more moves to make. Might have to make a trade or two. We'll figure it out. So here is the current cap breakdown going in descending order from our most expensive contracts for the upcoming season. Obviously, Jaren Jackson on his new deal is our most expensive player, as he should be. And then you got Bridges at $25 million per year, Nurkic, Brunson, and all these guys. I think right now I'm going to trade Mikal Bridges. And it's because he has not proven to me that he's worth this contract. I thought he would be a really good player for us to have, but he just has not shown the kind of playmaking, the kind of scoring that I want from a guy like maybe Miles Bridges could do. So I think I will trade Bridges right now and see what we do from there. Okay, so I made a massive trade here. I have traded Mikal Bridges to one of the only teams that had enough cap space to bring him on without giving up a player. So I traded him, a second-round pick next year and the year after that, for the Clippers' 2 first-round picks in 2025, which is in 2 seasons. So it's because they had the Thunder pick and their own pick. I made this trade. They took it. We got the deal done. And now we can, a lot of cap space and a lot of good options in the future for our team. All right, going to try and bring back Miles Bridges again. Going to lower his offer a little bit. He has no other offers right now. I'll offer this one. And I'll try to find a small forward as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring on Andrew Wiggins, or I'm going to at least try to send him an offer as well. Going to have to lower his contract a little bit to make up for these. He actually wants a pretty big salary. I'm going to lower this a good amount. So we have enough cap space to be able to sign him. I'm going to lower it to just below 12. Let's see if we can do this. He declined the offer. Okay. Fair enough. Maybe 12 mil and add a player option, which increases his interest a little bit. Okay. And Bridges has gone to the Supersonics. No! Are you serious? Wiggins will accept his contract. He's a guy that can score. I'm cool with this. That's cool with me. Okay, so I was able here to sign Zubac, or Zubac, however you pronounce that, to a 3-year deal, about 11 mil, or just above like 12 mil per year. So he will join us. He'll come off the bench right behind Nurkic. Also going to bring in here Pat Connaughton as on a minimum deal, by the way, as a guy that can shoot the 3 and also score inside at small forward. We're also going to bring in here Alec Burks and Seth Curry. So before we get to our last 2 signings of the offseason, here are the breakdowns for the signed players. You saw most of these. So who else signed? D'Angelo Russell goes to the Supersonics. Bagley goes to the Hornets. John Wall also goes to the Supersonics, where he was before. Miles Bridges and Dylan Brooks both went to the Supersonics. They signed so many good players. Holy crap. Zeller goes to the Kings. Portis goes to the Kings. Nerlens Noel goes to Memphis. Kevin Love to the Pelicans. Pirtle to the Spurs. Tice to Chicago. Keldon Johnson returns to the Spurs. Plumlee goes to the Bulls. Jay Crowder to the Pacers. Oubre goes back to Charlotte. Isaiah Thomas goes to the Clippers. Our last 2 signings are Reggie Bullock and Glenn Robinson. And that's it for us. We have 14 players on the roster now. Player progression here. Jaren Jackson goes up to an 88 overall. Gets better in all scoring places and on defense, which is very good for us. And rebounding, he's just got a lot better as a player. Nurkic goes up in a couple of categories. Jalen Brunson goes up in 3-point scoring. Wiggins goes up in mid-range and 3-point scoring. Mitchell Palmer goes up 5 to a 76 overall. Let's go. A lot better inside scoring, a lot better mid-range scoring. 3-point gets a lot better. Still not where it needs to be, but I'll still train him to be a better shooter. Defense gets better for him. Playmaking goes up to an A. Rebounding goes up a little bit. IQ goes up by a lot. Okay, so he really improved. That is awesome for us. 76 overall. I'm very excited for him. Wade Webb goes up by 3. Better shooting for him and some playmaking and defense. Marshall Gilbert, not much of a change there. Pat Connaughton, Seth Curry down by a couple. Obviously no change for Quincy Cage. But I think overall we made some pretty big jumps here, some pretty big leaps. We did lose McCall Bridges, but we got Jaren Jackson, who is hopefully a better player than Bridges was. We'll see though. And New York is your all-star city for the next year's all-star break. So here is the roster right now for our team going into the third season and our second year that we're going to watch pretty thoroughly here. We got Jaren Jackson, huge pickup for us. We keep Nurkic and Brunson. We bring in Andrew Wiggins and Zubac. Mitchell Palmer gets a lot better, goes up to a 76 overall, and it now has 9 badges. We bring in Alec Burks and Seth Curry to come off the bench. Wade Webb improves a little bit. Marshall Gilbert is the same. Pat Connaughton brought in, as well as Glenn Robinson and Reggie Bullock. And then Quincy Cage, our rookie. He's apparently the worst player on our team, but he is going to get a lot of playing time as the backup point guard behind Mitchell Palmer. We're going to start Brunson at shooting guard like we did last season. And I'll go get our coach game plan set up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here's what our lineup will look like here. We're going to start Mitchell Palmer at point guard. We're going to start Jalen Brunson as the shooting guard. Going to play those guys for about 30 minutes per game. Wiggins will start as our small forward with 26 minutes per game. Jackson, obviously power forward. He'll get like 35 minutes per game. Nurkic, starting center at 30 minutes per game. Zubac will back him up. Wade Webb will play for 16 minutes per game as a shooting guard. Alec Burks, 22 minutes off the bench. Seth Curry will also play 16 minutes per game, same as Webb. And then Quincy Cage will play 19 minutes per game as the backup point guard. We don't have a backup power forward, so we're going to have a kind of a small lineup when Jackson is not in, but he's not going to be in for like 13 minutes per game, so it's not even that big of a deal. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And then for the sim points of emphasis here, obviously Jaren Jackson Jr. is our star player. He's going to be the guy that we go to. Then we're going to do Jalen Brunson. Then after that, we are going to do Andrew Wiggins as the third scoring option. Offensive focus, we are going to stick with play through star. So play through Jaren Jackson. Offensive tempo average. Offensive rebounding. Let's do crash the offensive glass because we can do that now. Defensive focus, neutral. Aggression, neutral. Defensive rebounding, crash the defensive glass. We're going to be a rebounding team, and we'll see what we can do with this kind of lineup going forward. Okay, so I have set up our training and stuff for the individual training stuff. And here's what our schedule looks like in the first month of the year. The opening against the Pistons, but we're not going to watch that game or the Pacers game or the Wizards game. We're going to watch this game right here against the Hornets next episode. So we're going to sim the first 4 games of the year, see what happens in those 4 games. Then we're going to jump into a game against the Hornets and watch our team for the first time in year 3. So that is what's going to happen. That will do it for the episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please like and subscribe if you enjoy the series. Please comment as well your thoughts on what I should do next, and your thoughts on the trades I made and the signings I made, and we'll go from there. So we'll see what happens, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And a real quick last thing I forgot is that I changed the sliders for the CPU. I kept the offense at the Hall of Fame level, but I made the sliders custom for defense. I put everything down to 46 for defense. We'll see what this does. I'm not gonna. We'll see what it does in game 1. Hopefully, it's not too drastic of a change. It might be, but we'll see what this does because this will apply for both my team and other teams. So hopefully, scoring is better while watching because it won't affect the simming at all. So that is how that will go. And that being said, that is it for the episode. The offseason is officially done. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.